This college football picks week 8 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy. You're listening to SGP. Wait, hold on. Say it again. Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
College football is pretty wild, huh? So,
It is
pretty wild. Playoff, pretty wild. I'd say this early pet peeve with the new media covering college football.
What is that?
Why we got to keep bringing up how these games aren't as important because they're all going to make the playoff.
Yes,
every fucking pregame show it brings up this fucking point. It's like they got one patsy who's got to say, game would have a little bit more juice if the playoff wasn't 12 teams.
Joining us in studio from the College Football Experience to talk all things college football, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. Colby, what is Vanderbilt's path to the playoffs?
It's very simple. Take care of business in the SEC. They only have one loss, and that's a game they should have won. They play Ball State this week, so we don't have to worry about them this week. But the following week, they host the Texas Longhorns. I think we take the other goalpost. We take the other goalpost down to the Cumberland River. But dude, there's a path. There is a path. I counted today 63 teams that I think eligible to make the playoffs at this point. And I would push back on all of those people because we saw before they'll say the Alabama game against Georgia, this doesn't mean as much. Well, I've seen Alabama make the playoffs multiple years with the loss in the regular season. So same can be said for Ohio State. Same can be said for a few other teams. So it's always been a crock of shit. This is the best the sport's ever been.
It's been the most competitive it's been from what I can remember. Yeah. And with the playoff looming, it's been the most exciting. But the chat is lighting up talking about how Vandy has fed families last week. Shout out to Diego Pavia coming through with my money line dog, and Colby also liked him as well.
But a lot of that is the transfer portal and the NIL, and I think it's both ways. I want to note this because as much as we clown teams for not using the portal, where you see teams like Vanderbilt's a perfect example of using the portal from players and coaches, mainly like they brought in a lot of New Mexico State. But at the other end of that spectrum, look right now in the top 25, you look at like 5 teams that Clemson, Iowa State, Army, and Navy. All those teams don't really use the portal.
Yeah.
And they're kind of kicking ass. So it's you're seeing both. You're seeing teams that address the portal for an area of weakness where they look really good. And you also see teams that didn't do shit in the portal that have looked really good because of their continuity.
The list of teams that didn't take a transfer always cracks me up. Yeah. Army, Navy, Air Force,
BYU probably wasn't super heavy in the transfer.
Army,
yeah, they're not very heavy. BYU's another one you could throw in there.
Zero transfers. Army, Navy, Air Force, and Clemson.
Crazy.
And all having good. I mean, all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
3 of them are having good years.
Well, this
Air Force
is the only one because Iowa State don't really use it much.
No.
It's a fascinating thing, and it's I think as much as I will complain about the rules of the sport being fucking horrible, I do think this is the healthiest the game has ever been, at least in my lifetime, as far as the NIL and portal it has been equaling out across the sport, and I think it makes for a very awesome. And finally, we have a 12-team playoff. Now, I guarantee you, there's going to be a shit ton of controversy because you're going to have like 20 teams with 3 losses. So you keep the college football controversy that some like.
Well, and I think we're slowly going to start to get there. And by the way, I think the bet detective might have been wearing your headphones before, Colby. You might be really loud in yours. I think what people are going to eventually figure out is that scheduling tougher teams is going to be the difference. Because if we look at what happens in the near future in this model, Well, we're constantly choosing between who's a better 2-loss, 3-loss team. And we can just assume that they're going to figure out that we should expand a little bit more so that all the major conference teams can get those home games, which are very
And
lucrative.
make money.
Yes.
So when they figure that out, and then they figure out, well, I mean, when you're deciding between these 3-loss teams to get in on the bubble, how do you make your determination? Well, strength of schedule, certainly the strength
But
of
even that metric's jaded as fuck. Though.
well, no, but
Like,
certainly putting more tough teams on your schedule
Sure.
gives you more opportunities for losses. But everyone's going to have losses now,
But
so you might as well schedule good teams.
No, to Kramer's point, like it used to be, oh, you have 2 losses, you're completely fucked.
We've seen this in basketball.
But now if you have 2 losses and they're decent losses, you're fine, and you might be competing against other 2-loss teams to get into the playoff, and you might want those 2 losses to be against better teams.
The hard part is though, and I think you're going to be trying to discover this more and more with each coming year. You know, we called out Florida for playing what we, you know, not only we here, but I'm saying just in general, people that cover college football were like, Florida's playing the hardest schedule we've ever seen. But now you look at that down the stretch and you look at some of those teams, you say, well, that's not as hard as we once thought it was a month ago. Florida State's fucking horrible. Even though LSU's in the top 10, they certainly don't look like a top 10 team to me. More on that later this episode. But there's a bunch of games that they don't hold the same weight because of the perception. You thought these teams were going to be great. And
even more reason to not. I mean, I think the idea of having cupcakes is going to be difficult in the future because everyone's playing a tough conference schedule. These conferences are huge, and you're not going to ever have traditional tie-breaking methodologies because there's too many teams.
And another thing I think the money will continue to spread out. I disagree with the notion that because the Big Ten and the SEC are going to get so much more money, which they will. I still think that these other programs, you know, now that they realize they have a shot at the table,
it doesn't matter.
More money's going to come in.
Look how much money
you know?
the Jags spend on their roster every year. Look at the Panthers; they spend a lot of money.
I always say that. What's the perfect amount of number? Like, what's that amount that you can field a great football team?
I actually think it's harder. Like, so to be dominant with the previous era of paying players, it was easy because you could stockpile.
Yeah.
With the without the transfer portal and without the obvious and easy movement of players, you could stockpile the best talent, and so it wasn't a big deal if you weren't developing or you weren't the best, whatever weakness you might have. Now
you need to develop and know what you're doing in the NIL transfer portal.
Well, and even when you develop, they might bounce if you're not giving them the starting job, and that balances out the sport. I mean, you look at it, I can't help but notice it. I think like some of the best players in the sport are all playing for traditional non-blue bloods. You look at Ashton Jeanty at Boise. You look at Luther Burden.
You
at
saw
Missouri.
his quote about just about the legacy. Why he didn't leave Boise State.
Yeah, the culture.
It's the thing that I've always brought up, which is like in college is this very unique thing with coaches, especially where you are a god. You are fucking Kilmer, right? They're going to build a statue outside the stadium.
Billy Kilmer?
Well, no.
Yes, I just made a reference to Varsity Blues, one of the greatest sports movies of all time.
Get those whipped cream bikinis.
Oh man, what a movie that summed up everything, and just small actors and regular size shoulder pads looking hilarious. But you have a God opportunity, and instead of realizing that God for the next 25 years is better than making a ton of money over the next 2 years, or maybe it's not. It certainly seems like I think between that the idea of people wanting to actually have a legacy versus make the most much money.
Well, you get both. You get the players that transferred 4 times. You also get the guy that like Ashton Jeanty.
But also, you're just the teams are shallow.
Also,
you don't have depth. You don't have a ton of quarterbacks. Your quarterback room. I mean, again, we were watching Arizona State last week, and it's like, oh my god, fucking Sims is in the game. We're fucked.
Oh man, what a! And Colby mentioned,
and then he
this
goes back out. It's like, goddamn.
Before the show, but I feel like the weekday football has just been getting us paid, especially Friday night in particular. The dogs have been barking. I mean, mention it on the show, but Northwestern. I bet that with the points, Arizona State with the points, Arizona money line, Northwestern money line, parlayed Northwestern, Arizona State on the money line at Circa. It was just an incredible start to the college football weekend. Tossed in Vanderbilt on the money line. That was awesome. LSU pulled that game out of their ass. That was great. Ohio State didn't get home. Man, they had so many chances in that game. I still, and shout out to Magic Man Blanco, who is a big Oregon fan. I'm drinking the whiskey he sent over when his Packers lost to my Eagles. He's also shouting out Dundee and NC Nick, giving out Stone Cold Locks with Gio Lopez hitting his rushing over on one play. LFG, thanks, gents. I'm still, and I know I should be impressed by Oregon beating Ohio State. This Ohio State team at any point in the season should be impressive. Still don't like Oregon.
Well, that's
still don't like them.
Funny.
Maybe I'm being stubborn.
You know, shout out to my guy Josh Keatley from Buckeyes Wire. And
yeah,
wow.
he always gives us a plug.
Oh, he's a great guy, and it's funny because he you know, he's a diehard. He grew up in Ohio. He's a diehard Ohio State fan, and you know, he's DMing me, man. Ryan Day is Larry Coker 2.0, and he doesn't even have the championship. You remember Larry Coker at Miami, right?
Took over a really good program, managed to get one done because the roster was so goddamn good.
Yeah.
And then, just he always looked like death. He eventually became a metaphorical representation of death. Where did he go after? He went somewhere.
He went to UTSA. He actually started the UTSA program there. But
he knew how to secure the bag.
But Day's record against you know, top 10 teams is something terrible. I forget the exact number.
So I think it's 2-6 versus top 5 teams. I think it's 1-7 versus teams that have made the college football playoff.
Well, it's funny because
Oregon now, what was that? The first time they were dogs at home in like 2 decades or something crazy like that.
Yeah. So a lot of pressure there, and you know, that's on Ryan Day, by the way. I know we can blame Will Howard for his internal clock. Like, a little
you
bit
gotta
of blame.
coach him up in that situation.
Yeah, and especially
Also,
they got the green dot in the helmet now, which is bullshit. But still, you know, the fact that you can talk to your quarterback till like the 10-second or whatever.
I think if these quarterbacks, these quarterbacks are transferring around and getting paid in a way where they should have that type of game. Like, he's a vet, he should have the game awareness there. I mean,
he's a vet though that ran at Kansas State.
If this was Dak Prescott, say to end a playoff game, we would slam him for it.
I understand, like, you know, come at him all you want because he should have made the correct play, but at the same time, I just like at Kansas State, like, you're in one of the more conservative offenses. You're not used to really, you know.
I just don't. Ohio State, very, very, very shocking. Where was the pop?
Yeah,
we thought we were getting the pop in this game.
Well, there was a couple moments, a couple drives.
Yeah, they got a couple good players
and had a couple good stops. But yeah, they
outside of their receiving core, it's like, all right, I guess. I mean, Oregon kind of beat you up.
Yeah.
They did.
You big tough Big Ten team. You came out west and you got your ass kicked.
All right, let's get into the picks, Kramer. Your Virginia Tech Hokies kicking things off Thursday night. Enter Sandman.
Can't rush perfection, Sean. Boston College coming back to the beautiful Lane Stadium at night, Thursday night. It does not have the same pop it once had, especially the years I was there. I wonder if they even cancel classes and let the kids get completely shit faced earlier on the day. Probably not.
Well, I read a study that the youth is drinking less and less, which definitely.
They drink seltzer. Yeah. I mean, what Zima? Everyone. Yeah. Imagine if everyone drank Zima all the time. Virginia Tech -7, -260 on the money line. Boston College +210. 49 is the total. I mean, you would make fun of if everyone drank Zima. Like, holy shit. What happened
to Busch Light? That was that formed a generation.
Milwaukee's best
light.
Beast. I mean, come on. The $35 keg in Blacksburg, Virginia, when I was there.
Kids aren't living the high life anymore. Miller High Life.
That was pricey. ECU get one for 28.
Oh yeah, 35 for a Bud. I think it was like a Bud Light, maybe.
Busch Light,
getting the good stuff.
It was Busch Light for 28.
Blacksburg. ECU was a little bit more pricey. So obviously Colby or Sean will probably bring up the time that Matt Ryan came down and ruined a perfectly good season for Virginia Tech. With a just absolutely horseshoe up his ass,
fascinating
Hail Mary,
game.
Which, by the way, Matt Ryan, whatever he paid to get that accomplishment in college, it was brought back to him in the Super Bowl. So,
oh wow,
I think all debts were paid.
Ryan, I hate to interrupt the show. We have breaking news courtesy of Ross Phillips. Apparently, Colby gave out a lean on an over on his podcast and must pay for his crimes.
Lean?
# no leans.
Which
you leaning?
game?
What are you leaning?
I don't know. I think
don't know,
someone
Ross.
asked me a question on a total, and I said I would lean with the over. Maybe I don't know.
Wow, no lean network.
I don't even remember this, but I'm sure it probably happened.
See this? He's. I mean, this is.
He's admitting guilt. Colby, you gotta play dumb. Don't admit anything.
At worst, this is concerning behavior.
Kramer, you can't think to lay Virginia Tech 7 points. Pry is 1-10 right now in 1-score games in his head coaching career against Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien with extra time to prepare, who is just a massive coaching edge. And Virginia Tech struggles with quarterbacks who can run. So Boston College and the points all day. Boston College could even be a live dog. Colby, you can't lay 7 with Virginia Tech, can you?
I actually am, and
have you been watching Boston College recently?
Well, they just lost their best corner for the season. Boston College did.
That's why we're getting 7 points.
In Amari Jackson, he's out for the year. But
the Florida State loss or win looks a lot worse at this point in the season. They're coming off a loss against UVA.
What? They didn't lose to Florida State.
No,
they
win
lost against Florida State's looking not as good as it did earlier in the season. The Bill O'Brien's back proclamation. They almost
beat
lost
Michigan State.
They almost
almost beat Missouri.
They almost lost to Western Kentucky, and they lost to UVA.
That's a look ahead
to UVA.
No, well, you think Virginia Tech's going to beat UVA?
They do every year, dude. You're bringing up ridiculous points if you think that's going to change.
I think the Hokies have played a lot better the past 3 weeks. They got robbed of a win against a phony Miami team.
Yes,
they went out to the farm. Now, I get it. Stanford's quarterback didn't play, but it was still an impressive performance.
Back-to-back road spot where you went to Miami and then to Stanford.
Yeah,
and now you got the orgy. I mean, this is the moment for Pry. All the alum are going to be in town.
Yeah,
it's going to be under the lights. It's going to be a spectacle on television.
Choke job.
Lay the points. The spread. Sean, how long you been betting? The spread tells you everything you need to know.
7? What does 7 tell you?
Have you watched Boston College really? Outside of the Florida State game, they're not good. They had you're remembering that first game. I'm just trying to warn you. Okay, Colby.
No, I'm on the Hokies. I just think they're trending the right. And look, here's what's great about the playoffs is Virginia Tech is still very much alive. You win the ACC championship.
Oh yeah.
Or you maybe get a rematch with Miami.
Good luck taking out Syracuse.
But it's a huge game in that regard. So I think Virginia Tech gets up for it. Another thing is it's going to be cold as fuck. We saw this. No, and I guess BC should be used to the cold.
Boston College. This isn't
different kind of cold. Blacksburg. Different kind of cold. It is. It's a country cold. It's not like that city cold up there in Boston.
All right,
Florida.
I'm the crazy person.
That was Thursday night. Now we move along to Friday, where we were just talking about Florida State. Who, by the way, I mean, can you imagine being a Florida State fan coming into the season, feeling so good? You got DJ, you got Big Cinco. Everything's gonna.
You mean Saudi Arabia State?
You're spending all the Saudi Arabian money. And you've just been absolute ass. I've actually kind of enjoyed it. I mean, not that I have ever had a real rivalry against Florida State, but their fans make it very easy to hate them. Florida State catching
except the guy that reads those books.
He's not reading. It's a Florida State guy. He's not reading. Florida State's catching
Blocking
3
the sun.
plus 130 on the money line. 42.5 is the total. No, he's just staring at his parlay tickets. Duke. What was this look ahead number? What was the off-season price?
Someone was saying that the game of the year price, because it wasn't considered big enough to even price as a game of the year, but they projected it would have been Florida State laying like 28 coming into the season.
Wow. So they've adjusted this. Let's conservatively say 3 touchdowns even. That's insane.
But also too, how can you feel good betting Florida State here? I guess you're getting 3 points against Duke, who hasn't looked good, but they've looked okay. They're 5-1. They did lose to Georgia Tech. I don't know. They could be bowl eligible, which I don't think. I mean, Florida State's not going to be bowl eligible, are they, Colby? Like, they're
1-5.
Yeah, it's not looking good. I mean, they just came off a bye week. I'll say
Florida
that
State did give up 500 yards and 28 first downs in the loss against Clemson. That to me is a team who's quit.
No, I mean that's the worry is like were they partying all week there, or they made a switch in that Clemson game. They played Clemson tougher than I thought they would. Now Clemson still hit for us, but Brock Glenn is now their starting QB, and he played pretty well. He was 23 of 41, 228, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He's a freshman. I kind of like that move. I think Duke. It's been a good first season for Manny Diaz. I think they'll get to a bowl, but I don't think they're that good. So I'm going to take Florida State to actually pull the upset on the road there at Wallace Wade.
This is I look at the situation spot and I see the case for Florida State, but I also, man, I would just feel so dumb having a I don't know. I get why there's value in taking Florida State, but I think I would just feel very dumb.
So you're telling me that
Duke's 0-20 all time against Florida State.
Really?
Yeah.
AK, they're due. If you're ever going to beat
were
a
they
Florida
do it
State
19
team,
or were they do it 20?
If you're ever going to beat a Florida State team, isn't this the
year.
Florida State
Get that
team?
in.
So both teams are coming off a bye, but also Florida State has Miami next week. Come on.
Oh, that's
Come
the
on.
final dagger.
Come
Give me Duke
on.
-3.
You think
Kramer?
they're focusing on Duke during their bye week?
No, their season is going to come down. Can they beat Miami? And I actually like them in that spot.
After Duke, they play
Getting a bunch of
Miami,
points.
UNC, and Notre Dame. I mean, and then good thing they have that Charleston Southern game scheduled for November 23rd.
Classic SEC move. They want to be in the SEC so bad.
They should just schedule one of the Saudi Arabian teams.
Avetta's saying Florida State's actually 22-0 against. So it's they're about to be
this
1
is like
and
a
22.
UVA Virginia Tech situation. This is tricky. What do I do?
I'm going Duke.
Yeah, give me Duke.
I the look ahead spot is the icing on the cake.
I'm
for
gonna
me.
just lean to Duke. Actually,
okay.
Since we're doing
stop
leans
stealing
now.
Colby's bit.
We're doing leans now. Friday night, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Oregon coming off a very big win. Certainly wouldn't be a letdown spot.
No, on the road.
They got big bad Purdue coming to town. Or no, I'm sorry, they're on the road in West Lafayette. Oh my God, this is a letdown spot. Purdue catching 27.5 points, plus 1,500 on the money line. 60.5 is the total. I mean, who is running to the window at this point of the week to get that 27.5 for Oregon? Got to lock it in.
Well, hopefully it goes above 28. Either way, I'm on Purdue. I mean, we saw it. Michigan State, they squeaked through the back door against them, and that was in Autzen. I'm pretty sure, right? That was
it was in Autzen. Yeah.
Now you're going on the road. Purdue has a chance to make a case. And Colby, I'm sure you remember when number 2 Ohio State came in to Purdue in 2018.
I was on the Boilermakers.
Of course,
they lost outright.
55 to
Ohio
something.
State,
Yeah,
49-20.
49. There we go. Damn it. But that was Jeff Brum. But,
Purdue's offense has been kind of coming to life.
You know why? Is because Ryan Brown. Well, first off, they fired the OC Graham Harrell.
Yeah, Ryan Brown is now getting the
dude.
start.
How about that first start against Illinois on the road?
Yes, you ride that momentum, baby.
Throws for 365, 3 touchdowns. He also runs for another 100. Very impressive stuff there. And this is just
118 yards on 17
And Oregon's only other road game was UCLA, which is it's like a home game for Oregon. This is their first real road game.
You have a dog in Brown who is also a running quarterback, could give Oregon a ton of problems. Oregon comes in sleepy on a short week after partying all week.
Oh yeah,
you already. I mean, you already stamped your ticket to the playoff.
Let's go.
I think Purdue's live. I'm definitely.
Let's have some fun. You ever done a Boilermaker, Sean?
Yeah.
Was that a shot in a beer? Or is that what is that? What is that?
That was before we did
whiskey and a.
Yeah, that was Jaeger bomb for guys who had nuts. You know what I mean?
It's like a whiskey and like a Pabst Blue Ribbon or something. I feel like, right?
It's
what, a
old
Boilermaker?
school Irish.
It's just a whiskey and a beer.
I thought it had to be kind of like a cheap ass beer.
I think I always heard it as
that's bourbon and a beer. I think
shot of whiskey in a Guinness. To me, is a traditional.
That's a car bomb.
Oh, that's a car bomb. You're right. Boilermaker is.
Give me your Irish card.
I got to pour whiskey into a shot glass, fill up, and then beer. You drop the shot into the beer, so it's basically like
it is whiskey,
car
not
bomb.
bourbon. But
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's certainly a good way to get fucked up. Ohio State
Mixing whiskey and beer
was laying.
sure is.
Oregon was laying 49.5 against the Vandals. They did not cover.
They almost lost that game.
They were laying 17.5 against Boise State. They did not cover 37-34. They were laying 19 against Oregon State. They got the cover. Road game. Interesting, but they had some familiarity. Oh, UCLA did not cover. Michigan State did not cover. So a little pattern here. They're not covering. They haven't covered at all this.
0-3 against teams laying 20 or more. Oregon.
They've covered
ATS.
only once all season.
Yeah, against Ohio State.
So, well, sorry, twice against Oregon State and against Ohio State.
They destroyed Oregon State. You're right.
So, the question is, do they get it done here? No, I don't think so. Are they undervalued here because they haven't been covering the spread? I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. So we have to take Purdue.
No, 100%.
No.
Hey, have you guys signed up Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN? I'm sure you have. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Colby, always like getting some primetime entries here. What about the Thursday, Friday night games? Any higher lowers jumping at you?
I think some drone strikes.
Okay.
Well, I just mentioned BC's corner is out Jackson for the season. So I'm going to take the higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Okay, I'm going to go lower, but I like that. What else you got? What are we pairing this with?
Let's pair that with
Maybe something from the Purdue game.
I almost wanted to play, but I want to give this a little bit of shelf life because I don't want to play tomorrow's game. Let's go to that Purdue game.
Brown?
Yeah. What is his?
You can take his rushing touchdown higher is 2.06x, or you can just take higher a half passing touchdown. That's 0.73, but that's a little easier.
Let's
to get
do
to.
that, and let's also do the higher 13.5 for the longest rush. On the guy's got some wheels.
All right, I don't know if you can do. Can you do two guys? Okay, yeah, you can. Oh no, it replaces. You can only do one thing from one guy.
Well, then let's jump on over and do.
I like the longest rush angle.
Yeah, I think that's because he's got some wheels.
So Kyron Jones, you're saying higher. I'm going lower, but then that paired with Ryan Brown, higher 13.5 longest rush. That sounds pretty good.
Let's go.
I'm also if you're what's this? I can't do tugboat tootin' and drones. All right, fine.
UnderdogFantasy.com promo code SGPN. And hey, also we just NBA season right around the corner. I saw Terrell in the chat. NBA Gambling Podcast putting on a win totals contest. You can win a $250 SGPN gift card. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA contest. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA contest. Get in on that free contest. Always appreciate the 5 stars on Spotify. Although have to take the audience to task as someone dropped a 1 star on our Apple Podcast. Right? I don't know if you saw this. They said once was the only pod I'd go to for betting. Now between the ads and Colby, I'm just done. So Colby, I mean, we can't get rid of the ads. They are how we use to pay for everything. But I mean, Ryan,
I guess he didn't have Vanderbilt money line all these times, but it's okay. You know, he probably likes dome football and being a pussy, but it's okay.
I love people who complain about the ads. The shows are free. What other place do you get free stuff?
That's how we make money.
Well, also, I mean that's.
You think these studios grow on trees?
I would say this: if you're blaming that, you probably just don't like us anymore. Just be honest with yourself.
Yeah, come on.
Or
you don't know how to fast forward.
I want to know why he hates me. It's got to be he's one of these people that really believes.
Could be a dome football game.
Yeah, that's like probably what.
Also, I mean, think about the person who leaves the 1 star Yelp review.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Yeah. I cannot believe I only got 4 egg rolls. First thing I'm going to do when I get home is fire up my PC.
How about this, Ryan? We'll offer him. Hey, change the.
You think he's listening?
Change. Oh, of course. These people don't. They never leave. Change your review to 5 stars and update the review to I'm sorry, and we'll remove all the ads.
Yeah, well, and
We're
send
not gonna
us
remove the
send
ads,
us
but
$5,000 a month.
What are you,
and,
Nick Sirianni over here? Playing it soft? Fuck
No.
you, sir.
No,
Fuck
it's a trap. It's a trap. I'm seeing if he's gonna fall for it.
If you Venmo me $5,000 a month, I might not show up on one of these shows.
I take back saying fuck you. Please, yeah. It's like what Sean said. We'll totally remove the ads.
Yes, your ads will be removed.
I don't know about you guys though. I
If
like
not,
one
contact
stars.
our-
Have you
well,
thought
no,
about this? I, like
Can
a
we,
good-
should we have our attorney get involved here?
I was drinking the other day. Had a glass of whiskey at the house. Wife was on vacation, and I just went through all the 1-stars.
Oh,
Colby,
zero
we're live
fun.
on the air. Don't talk.
No, I just like wanted to read and I
One
enjoy,
star.
the 1-stars make me laugh.
You really, if you want to really enjoy 1-star, go to 1-star reviews of national parks. That is
Really?
very funny.
I need to do that. I
People
need to
just
do
like
that.
shitting on Yosemite, Rocky Mountain National Park, and it's not like the park rangers.
It
They'll just
wasn't
be
that
mad-
Rocky.
They'll be literally yelling at the trees. And just going back to that person who left the 1-star, all the ads will be removed from your episodes. If you have any issues, if you still hear ads, contact our technical service advisor on X at Patty C831 with any technical questions. His DMs are open.
Yeah.
If you're still getting ads, hit him up and ask him why you still have ads.
Preferably in picture or audio form.
Now, any bad customer service interaction, I'm directing them to head of customer service and logistics, Patty C.
Oh man.
Sean, do you know what the world's most expensive bowling ball is?
No,
Take a guess.
Was Joe Burrow walking into the stadium with it? I'll bring up the photo. Ryan, bring up the photo because that's a great joke.
That is good. That is good.
I will bring it up. Keep talking, Colby.
It is the Quantum Technologies Raven bowling ball. Sean, take a guess
Fuck
what
are
this
you
thing
talking
goes
about?
for.
Is Colby doing an ad?
What is this? What is this going on?
Colby, you have to clear all ads. You can't just take big
Hey,
bowling-
Quantum, reach out. I'm doing you a solid. all right?
I'm with this 1-star guy. Too many ads.
and Colby ads and Colby in the same segment. No wonder he hates.
So
this
we're
show.
gonna get more 1-stars, dude.
All right, so why are we talking about this?
I
bowling
just
ball?
randomly clicked on an article that was like the most expensive bowling balls in the world, and I was curious what the what the most expensive bowling ball is. To, like on not just one ball, like so it's signed by somebody, like the average, like almost like a Spalding basketball or something. What would that be? The Quantum Raven bowling ball.
What does it go for?
Yeah, do you have a guess?
I'll say $12,000.
Holy fuck, he nailed it.
He-
Wait, what are you fucking? Are you in a bowling league?
Sean
What's going
does.
on?
Bowling sharp.
Sean does know a lot about bowling.
Yes.
And speaking of which, I think this is what Sean wanted me to put on the
Is that a sport or not? By the way, do we qualify that as a sport?
Bowling, it's an activity.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's Joe Burrow. That is a bowling.
He's got a Quantum Technologies Raven bowling ball in there.
YouTube.com/sports gambling podcast. What is that outfit?
So also, I was a couple people on the internet told me that I posted this video and it just said nice bag, bro. And then I got told I wouldn't say that in an NFL locker room.
Ryan would. He would not be afraid of saying
Of
nice
Joe
bag.
Burrow, nice bag, bro. Definitely would. I mean,
I'm sure someone else said the same
like
thing.
also, all right, I get it. Like dudes have always, guys always have accessorized with handbags. I guess in NFL.
Well, Derek
locker
Carr's
rooms.
mascara. He keeps it in there.
But guys, I mean, it's one thing to have like a cool bag. It's another to have a color coordination and for your bag to be bright ass. Look at me, orange.
Well, I wish I could make fun of him, but my bag often does match the rest of my outfit just because it's a SGP backpack. But yes.
Well, again, backpacks are normal.
All right. Where were we? Let's get back to the picks. Oklahoma State, BYU in Provo.
We're still on Friday, Sean. We'll be betting on this one, I guess. Oklahoma State, BYU, one of the surprise Big 12 teams. Also, maybe that SMU loss not as bad as we thought earlier in the season. BYU -9.5, -310 on the money line. 53 is the total. Okay, Okie State 250 on the money line if you want to play it that way.
Well, Colby, why do you think Ollie Gordon has been so bad this year, at least compared to last year? Last year, 1,732 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. This year, 383 yards, 3.8 yards per carry. What is going on?
Set up.
Got a bag of cash.
There it is.
You get a bag of cash. We call him the Olive Garden on our show. And
I honestly didn't know.
He's probably spent his whole offseason pulling the old Kevin Duckworth, where you just go and just find yourself
Eddie Lacy.
Yes,
AKA Feast Mode, greatest nickname of all time. Or Eddie Lacy got super fat, and then they dug up him tweeting about all the times he wanted to go get China food.
Yep.
It's an all-time internet moment, and I think we have to factor this in our handicap. Mike Gundy, he was not able to appear on the normal press conference.
Yep.
He had to appear via Zoom, and he turned his video off because apparently he was headbutted by a cow on his farm this week, and he has a black eye. So fingers crossed that black eye is still visible on Friday.
Yeah,
night.
and I heard if he stands up, he feels a little woozy, so he didn't want to do that. No CTE there out in those farms.
This is crazy because I want to take BYU, but they're 6-0 straight up, 6-0 ATS. They've been a monster. At some point, they're going to hit a little bit of a wall. But how can you fade this BYU team?
You can, because Mike Gundy in October, I feel like he always turns a corner. This team's never quit on him.
Yeah.
And you look at this, what he's done. It seems like they always find a way to get back up. The years and the years they're really projected to be really good are traditionally the years they fall apart. And when I mean fall apart, though, is like a 7-6 season. They never truly fall apart.
Yeah.
So I think it's a get right spot. Give me Gundy in the points. I think the money line's live here.
This as fun as BYU has been, I'm actually kind of with you, Colby. I don't like to go against high elevation home dogs, but they're not a dog. They're a big favorite,
and he can kill it on a pregame speech saying,
yeah. With the black eye that the cow gave him.
You pussies haven't played any defense. I was out there tackling cattle.
Are we?
Kramer, what are we doing?
I mean, that also sounds
and Friday night dogs have been killing it. Something in the air. Ryan, a Purdue, Oklahoma State money line. I might own Circa. That thing comes home. I'll be like, Derek, we're 50-50 now.
You've asked me to remind you in the past when you avoid taking teams at elevation. That always pisses you off.
No, it's home dogs.
It's not just dogs. It's anytime you see that team that's not used to elevation getting their ass beat in the second half. You're like, damn it, why'd I ignore the elevation? Also, now if I got fucked up and made an ass of myself and smashed my face up, I'd also say a cattle headbutted me.
Oh, maybe it was his wife. He hid the remote when she was trying to watch.
I slipped on
Real
a McDonald's.
Housewives of New York City.
So you think this is 100% bullshit?
The wife had a couple glasses of wine and she headbutted him.
I slipped on a McDonald's bag and tore in my ACL. Like, come on.
I mean, I feel like we have some agrarian listeners. Cows headbutting people. Is that a real thing? Please send in your questions and comments. I'm sure there's some farmers that listen to this. But you're right, Ryan. This could be bullshit.
If Colby has posted many videos of people getting run over by cattle. It's not just going to be a little boo boo. You're going to be fucked up.
Oh, I'm just saying, like I can believe that it might have been some bullshit because he might have got really hammered. But this is a dude that I remember, like, they interviewed him a year ago and they asked him what he was doing yesterday or like the past week, and he'd been on like some snake hunting exhibit. So like he's some type of guy that to me would maybe actually be doing this. You know what I mean? Even though he's like a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, I could also see him really doing this. Like this, and him and Bum Phillips would be like the only ones I would actually believe would actually be doing this.
It does sound like a great excuse, though.
It does.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's probably more likely excuse. Yeah, and revenge from last year. No, neither you guys didn't bring that up. I know the bye week's nice for Oklahoma State, but again, if your head coach is off having maybe he had a few too many at the lake house, had a little bit of a dust up on the way home. Give me BYU. Come on.
BYU.
I was recently in Provo.
Wow.
The town is completely
super soaker.
3.2 beer, near beer everywhere. Nebraska. Now we're on Saturday. Nebraska heads to Bloomington, Indiana, where a fine Italian American is leading the Indiana Hoosiers football team to success they've not seen in some time. Colby -6.5 here at home. Holy shit! -240 on the money line. Nebraska +195. 50.5 is the total.
You know what they're calling Indiana, right? It's JMU West because he took their whole starting team from a year ago and brought them to Indiana.
They should look at a map. That's not anywhere near the West.
Well, it's west of Harrisonburg.
Yeah, I know, but it's also north.
This is the biggest game in the history of Indiana football, or at least since like when my grandfather was watching football. So I can't wait for this one, man. I buy into what he's doing. I love the fact he came into Bloomington with truly big dick energy.
Yeah,
he did the halftime show right when he got
Cox.
Who did he talk shit about?
It was at the Assembly Hall for.
No, I know what program
Indiana,
did he say? Like
Michigan, Ohio State, and Purdue.
Yes.
Like Purdue just because of their historical rivalry, but Michigan, Ohio State. He's like, we're fucking coming for you, and I ain't putting up with no bullshit. And then you know he's backed it up, but he did it again at Big Ten Media Day, saying like, "You guys really picked me this far." I'm buying in, and look, they got Curtis Rourke, and these are the breaks. He's been in college for like 10 years.
Indiana's been very good at home.
Yeah,
and yeah, I'm with you. It's tough to want to come up with reasons to fade Indiana, and then you got Nebraska on the road. I don't know. It feels a little chalky.
Well, and this is Raiola's second road game. The other road game he was at Purdue, and look, that score was deceiving. I bet on Nebraska that game, and I got lucky to hit. That was a 0-0 game at halftime. Yeah. I think the offense will sputter on the road because he's just a kid. He's very talented, but he's just a kid. I think Indiana and Curtis Rourke, like I said, 5th or 6th year senior.
Signetti in the offense, 30 points in every game this season and 40 in 5 straight. Like Indiana's going to be able to put up some points, I think, against
where?
Nebraska.
Yeah, what game have they not looked good?
They're a wagon.
Well, it's that whole thing. Like some coaches clearly coach, and others just stand around and look pretty, like Mario Cristobal. Indiana. How many dogs?
Nebraska's on, or so the Discord's on Nebraska.
How many dogs have I taken so far, Sean?
You have 1 dog, Purdue.
Okay, just shit. All right, moving along.
Discord has Oregon and Nebraska so far, and decent week for Discord. Although Discord's still only at 44%, so consensus plays 56%. AKA, we are still pro gamblers.
Losers. All right. And we are Arizona State fans this year.
Oh, scattaboo!
Early kick for the West Coast team here. Going from Tempe out to Cincinnati. Ugh. Gotta get some of that Skyline chili after the game. Imagine Scattaboo getting down in a big old bowl of Skyline chili. Cincinnati. I mean, that's erotic. Cincinnati laying 3.5 -160 on the money line. Arizona State +135. 51.5 is the total. What were we told his name was? Meth Caffrey.
Oh yeah, Christian Meth Caffrey.
That's Cam Scattaboo.
Yeah, because where does he come from? Isn't he from the Fresno area or?
Yeah,
Sacramento
he
State?
Transferred from Sacramento State when they had a really good run in the FCS playoffs.
Yeah,
he was there. Dog.
Colby, did you send me that clip or did I see it on your feed of Scattaboo? They kicked an onside kick.
Yeah.
And Scattaboo picked it up.
Yeah.
And just ran it in the end zone. But there were like 10 dudes on his.
He
carried
beast,
like multiple
man.
guys the last 10 yards. It was, I mean, he kept his feet chopping the entire time. If you think I'm going against Arizona State, you're wrong. Forks up, baby, all day. They can control the ball. 211 rush yards per game. They have the Friday night extra day of rest against Cincinnati. I don't know. I feel like in previous years I may have taken Cincinnati, but I'm in love with this Arizona State team. I'm not fading.
5'10", 225 pounds. How many times on this show have I called another man thick? He's very thick.
I feel like a couple
I don't want to take
episode.
him. This is a trap. We're falling for a trap.
It is a trappy ass line.
Colby, why should we take Arizona State?
No, we're not because they just stormed the field and coach was a part of that party.
He really was.
I'm gonna fade that.
He said, "Take your own."
Yeah, I love Dillingham, but I gotta fade that this week.
He doesn't understand how betting works either because he told everyone to take their over money that they've already won on the season and donate it to the NIL. Which shout out to him for shooting his shot there. That I didn't mind that. By the way, Scattaboo's from Rio Linda, California, which is in Sacramento.
I'm not fading this Arizona State team. I feel like if I wasn't close to the situation, I would be on Cincinnati, but I'm riding with the Forks.
God, this is a scary spot.
Kramer, what are
I'm
you
with
doing?
you. This is a team that just knows how to win. Hopefully, we don't see Sims. That's one asterisk there. We got to.
I think Leavitt's fine. He came back.
Yeah, no,
game.
I'm just saying the second when Sims goes out there, like, oh no, just hand it to Scadaboo, which again, very thick, very strong lower body. Miami, the one from Florida.
Ryan loves Scadaboo. I thought I liked him.
They're taking on Louisville. Who, by the way, if you didn't know, Louisville is in Kentucky, and I have received more thank you messages from the great people of Kentucky,
Louisville,
and the city of.
No one ever messages me about Louisville,
saying that they really appreciate my commitment to pronouncing it correctly, unlike you two heathens. Catching 5.5. They are at home here, plus 165 on the money line. 61.5 is the total. At this point, how can you bet against Miami? The way that the league is just clear, they're plowing the road for them. Colby, tell me why you're going to be on Louisville.
Because
Louisville.
Let me see what I can do.
What are you looking at? You got a lot of graphs on your screen.
Louisville. So my instincts are to take Louisville as a home dog, but Louisville has done bad against rushing quarterbacks. I'm worried Cam Ward gets it done with his legs on the ground. Ryan, you're a guy who loves havoc rate. Louisville's defense is horrible at creating havoc. Defense is 115th in sack rate, just one interception this season. I'm worried this is like a weird ass 27-18 game and Miami gets it done.
Yeah, they got Miami. Like they managed to get through the portion of the schedule where they were going to catch an L.
Colby, talk me. And Louisville struggled to put away UVA.
Is UVA good?
They're not bad, but it was a look ahead. That was a classic look ahead.
Trick question.
How about this though? Jeff Brom is 6-0 in his last 6 ranked games coming into his house. So when the other team comes in there, whether it's Ohio State, whether it's Notre Dame, this guy to me he's like one of my favorite guys to play as a dog in a game where there's a target on the team.
All right, we got to be careful here.
I like the situation spot for Louisville.
He's a big Brom guy.
The stats back it up. I mean, the Ohio State game you just referenced when we talked about Purdue.
Yeah,
it is.
We talked about 49 points put up on Ohio State. That's Jeff Brom.
Big coaching edge here with the Cristobal versus Brom.
Yeah, Cristobal's due for a fuck up in the last second type of game.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that this season.
Give me I need some dog action as well.
Ryan, if you got some dog action, why don't you head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. I'm looking at my cryptocurrency wallet and I hit refresh and look at there. Nice little deposit from BetUS. Just withdraw from BetUS. Got it lightning quick. BetUS, very good. Best in the business. 30+ years they've been in business. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Do I need to explain why you want to have more options, more sportsbook places to get down? Shout out to Vikings Kyle, love him. He just tweeted out he had a horrible experience with the book that you would expect better from. But hey, it wasn't BetUS. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Give yourself another option. Promo code SGPN, 125% bonus on your first 30 deposits. They get you taken care of. Nice live wagering as well. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS.
Bada bing, bada boom. I've been watching a lot of Sopranos clips.
Really?
Well, there's some really good social.
Have you gotten your daughters into Sopranos at all?
There's an interesting hurdle with long form content.
Really? Doesn't involve
old
scrolling.
Stuff has bad trailers for young people because it's usually just a scene. And so getting them into something that's going to take a couple episodes. So we'll see. I mean, we're getting there. Mandalorian, 2 thumbs up. So hopefully Sopranos.
A lot of action.
Follow. Yeah.
Well, Mandalorian's the cut and pacing is much faster.
Again, it's made today versus 20 years ago. Well, I mean, we like the slow stuff. It kept us regular. All right.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, it means you got, I mean, personally, I like slow, methodical shit, not one of these rushed ones because I got something else to do. Swipe left, swipe right. 12:30 p.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to Champaign, Illinois, where the Illini take on the Wolverines. Michigan laying 3 minus 150 on the money line, plus 125. 43.5 is the total. I mean, I don't at this point. I mean, I kind of like the Illinois last week was confusing. Otherwise, I've kind of liked him this season.
It was a classic look ahead, and that was also his previous DC. So anyone,
just seeing that defense give up almost 50 points was alarming.
Well, don't worry, because Michigan can't throw the ball.
Well, and so I when I saw that this was Michigan laying 3, it was like, what are we doing here? Like, what is happening?
Wolverines haven't had a 100-yard passer since September 14th.
That's not even.
I mean, I get it. It's
they're not running the triple though. Why not?
No,
they should be.
Like Army is going to outpass them in some games. That'll be hilarious.
The timing of Harbaugh leaving Michigan. And this team's going to crater out and be like a bottom 8 team in the Big Ten every year.
And to me, Illinois is a team that I think now that was crazy because they were up like 27-3 at the half. So I think they thought, okay, let's
sure still
turn it off, but they almost lost that game. And I just think they're a more complete football team, and this place is going to be going bananas for this because Michigan, actually, Illinois should have beat Michigan 2 years ago at Michigan. Yeah. That's the last time they played. I know Bielema's still mad about that, talking about the refs screwed him over in that game. I think it's a get right spot. I think Illinois is also just a more complete football team, and I think that Bielema, being a defensive guy, will load up, and make them have to throw the ball, and they can't. Whether it's Tuttle, whether it's
whoever they're throwing back there at quarterback has been horrible.
How have they gotten it so wrong?
They probably were celebrating. I mean,
well,
you should have went to the portal.
You lost an amazing coach. You lost a ton of talent out the door to the NFL. Like,
they should have still used the portal though. I know Portnoy's trying to give them a bunch of money to.
He wants to buy a $2 million quarterback. He said
that would be kind of a fun flex to be able to buy your college team a $2 million quarterback.
Yeah,
Can we get Lehigh a quarterback, Sean? We don't need $2 million. We can do 2,000.
Shedeur Sanders, you're going to Lehigh.
I was watching a clip on the on him like kind of laying out what the responsibilities of the $2 million come with. Yeah, it seemed like it. Pretty easy deal if you're the quarterback.
I mean, I'm with Colby. Illinois is a home dog here.
We saw them win on the road at Nebraska.
Yeah,
Altmaier's a good quarterback for college football. He's got 14 touchdowns, ready to go. Just 1 interception on the season.
No, to your earlier point, this Michigan team isn't like they're far from good. And if anything, a good defense is going to be able to make them very one-dimensional.
And they have a gigantic target on their back because of last season. And
I'll be honest, like I'd imagine there's a little worry about Michigan State on the horizon. Do we at all look at that as a look ahead
for Michigan? I mean, I don't think they can afford to look ahead. I don't think their offense is any good, though,
but that's still like that's still like a big. I don't know, this Michigan team. I feel bad for those Michigan fans. It's been tough. They're never going to be good again. If I could go back and talk to myself, circa 2007, 2008, when Tyrod was leaving, I'd be like, it's never going to get better. Just accept it. That's what Michigan fans have to realize right now.
Yeah.
They've had the best it can be. It's not going back.
JJ McCarthy he doesn't have any eligibility.
Give me Illinois.
Right? Okay.
Oh, well, maybe come back, play in the practice squad on the Vikings.
Consensus play on Illinois +3.
What a good set of weekend games, by the way, which can only mean one thing. It's going to be all duds. Alabama, big SEC game here, which, by the way, again, you start looking at what has to happen with some of these bigger conferences. There's going to be some teams with 3 losses who did not expect to have 3 losses this season. Alabama, Tennessee, noon 30 on the West Coast, going to Knoxville, +125 home dogs for Tennessee. Alabama laying 3, 56.5 is the total. Colby, Alabama has not earned the right to be laying 3 points on the road against Tennessee at this point. I understand you can point to why Tennessee is flawed. This Alabama team is flawed as well, and you can no longer trust the coaching staff.
Really, because to me, it's Tennessee that was
Well, you can probably say the same thing about both teams.
Tennessee should have lost last week. Let's be honest. If Graham Mertz doesn't get injured, Lagway comes in, throws that pick. If that pick didn't happen, Florida was I will die on this hill. Florida was a better team than Tennessee last week. Yeah,
they both should have lost last week.
But here's the thing: Tennessee's offense has been ass.
Yeah.
Ever since they've played a good team, like or just not even a good team, like just
it's the cha-cha-cha shit you
Oklahoma,
talk about.
Arkansas,
They can't complete a deep pass. Tennessee.
Yeah, and to me, I have questions with their offensive line. Now on the other side of it, I understand Bama. There was no gimmick with Vanderbilt. Like that's why we were on Vanderbilt last week, right, Sean?
Yeah.
It was like that team pushed around Alabama, and if you exclude the first quarter from the South Carolina game, I watched this game twice this week. South Carolina.
What a flex.
South Carolina pushes them around, man, for 3 quarters with Rocket Sanders and stuff. So like, there's some real concerns on both. But I just think Jalen Miller is the best player in the game. I think him and Ryan Williams are too much offensive firepower. Whereas Tennessee, I don't think they're going to have success just on offense at all. Even though we know Bama's defense hasn't been great, but I don't think Tennessee can push around Alabama. So I'm gonna take the Tide minus the 3 points there.
I'm a little worried about Tennessee's defensive line. I think they might be okay.
No, Tennessee's D line is good, but I just think Milroe. Who do you trust more, Milroe or Nico?
At the end of the day, I'm with you. Alabama minus 3, just because of the Milroe. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I do like him as the Giants quarterback. I think.
Ooh.
But I think I'm gonna take the dog.
Really? I mean,
I
see
don't know.
the case.
I watched a good amount of the Alabama game last week, and it was like.
But you could say, the exact same thing about Tennessee.
Yeah, and you can the irrational like fan pressure, but I think the irrational fan pressure in Alabama is on a different level, and so unless they're great at completely shutting it out, like it's.
But also too, Alabama, I think there is a little thing in the back of their head of like, hey, it's not Saban. We have to be realistic. We might not be as good.
No, you're not. No, that's
I'm saying
not true.
in the back of their head.
Back of whose head? Alabama fans?
Yeah.
No fucking way. These people are losing their mind, Sean.
No,
they don't know how to lose. Colby, I think will agree with me on that point. I think the pressure around the program is growing to a point that no one expected it was going to get to this early in his tenure.
Well, they have unrealistic expectations.
Of course,
now
they're from Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy fucking poisoned the. I mean, we're talking about the craziest fucking fans on the planet.
I just don't think Tennessee fans also very fucking loyal,
very irrational and crazy as well. But they haven't had the success, so it's not quite the same. They will be believing they're going to win this game.
I just don't think they have the hosses too.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I'm going to take the home dog though. Maybe we see some more shenanigans with the old goalposts. 12:30 p.m. on another this afternoon slate's pretty fire, Colby. It's going to be lit all over the country, and for some reason we're going to Atlanta, Georgia for a Notre Dame Georgia Tech game.
That filthy Falcon Stadium too.
They're not playing this at the beautiful home field for Georgia Tech.
Bobby Dodd, the oldest fucking
Why do they have that
stadium.
What are we doing? Rabble.
Chick-fil-A will be open.
They're so dumb because Notre Dame's going to have half this crowd, if not more.
Yeah, they
just took away a home game. You fucking stupid losers.
You can't call this a home game. Notre Dame minus 12, minus 410 on the money line. Georgia Tech plus 320. 49.5 is the total. I no longer. Yeah, I don't know what to think about Notre Dame. My instincts are just to fade them.
Here's the problem, though.
I feel like there's a coaching disadvantage.
This line opened up at what, 8?
It's been bet up.
Well, part of that is because Haynes King might not be playing. He's day to day,
and Haynes King sucks. And I think Notre Dame can throw on Georgia Tech. Yeah, I don't know. Georgia Tech did really good running the ball against North Carolina. Maybe they're up for this. Honestly, I not to sound like Colby, but I think if they were playing this in their actual home stadium,
100%, man,
I would be on Georgia Tech. But in a neutral, empty ass, zero energy Mercedes-Benz Dome, I think you have to take Notre Dame because I think Riley Leonard, they're kind of figuring out the offense. He's getting a little bit more consistent throwing the ball.
This is the hardest one because we don't know if Haynes King is playing. Like if Haynes King is not playing, Notre Dame minus 12 will cash. But with him being questionable,
I think I like Notre Dame with the question marks at 12 right now. Give me Notre Dame.
I'm gonna take the Jackets just because the chance that Haynes King plays, but this is the least confident. If I'm on a Benedictine game, Sean, it'll be this one.
Oh, so we're gonna take Notre Dame.
If Haynes King gets ruled out, I'll take Notre Dame.
But he's probably not playing
because they have like a Tebow quarterback behind him.
But the spread would indicate he's not going to play. Wouldn't you agree?
Maybe just Notre Dame fans just Notre Dame
minus
so
12.
much public action.
Come on, all right, and feel free to join us on Saturday, Colby. 1 p.m. Another. Oh boy, and why are we talking Colorado this week? Oh boy. All right. We're now, unfortunately, going to be talking about Colorado, Arizona. You're still Colorado fans, both of you?
Of course, we got robbed last week.
Oh yeah,
clear pass interference and Travis Hunter and Jimmy Horn.
Jimmy Horn, tons of injuries.
And we got that was a PI. Late.
Arizona laying 4 minus 160 on the money line. Colorado plus 135. 57.5 is the total. Early game in Tucson. Going to be hot as shit, I assume.
Yeah, probably right. It's the desert, but I mean, come on, give me the Buffs because they announced Jimmy Horn and Travis Hunter will be playing. Now Miller is out for the season, I think, but
is Travis Hunter going to play both ways?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and that to me,
well, that was a serious question. If he's banged up,
no. And I think that's huge because yeah, they have.
Good.
No, I was blanking on what's the Arizona's receiver's name? That's really
Tetsuo McMillan.
McMillan, yes, who is very good. And Travis Hunter, if he can slow down McMillan, Fafita has had some real ups and downs, even at home, and he's been taking a ton of shots. Even the passing game coordinator Matt Atkins saying we need to protect him more. He's been getting hit a bunch. And Colorado's D line, while they haven't been amazing in the trenches, has some moments with the pass rush. I think this comes down to a field goal game either way. Give me the Buffs in 4. That's I don't think Arizona should be laying. This line should be like 2.5 or 3.
And yeah, I just think Colorado's playing better right now. Brent Brennan is brand new to Arizona. They lost a lot of their guys. Jonah Coleman to Washington, their D line to Texas, and
why is it only 4 then?
What do you mean?
Why are they catching 4? Colorado.
I mean, Arizona's still a serviceable team. They beat Utah.
Sounds like one team has some things that are in motion, and Colorado's just ready to fire on all cylinders.
I just like Brent Brennan. I think is going to work out at Arizona, but I just think it's year 1. You're figuring this thing out. Whereas as Colorado, I feel like in year 2, they're a little more there.
Yeah, Donovan Morris points out our defense sucks, and he's speaking as an Arizona Wildcat fan.
I mean, they got hit in the portal.
Also, David saying I, along with the rest of Arizona fans, are very down on Brent Brennan. However, my inside sources say some big things happen this week. Arizona takes care of business this week and turns it around. So I like the mystery.
Oh, what a smart guy!
Mystery.
David. I'll lay the points. You know, I like the chalk.
Oh, you just hate Colorado.
You
haven't been doing good blindly fading Colorado.
I hate Colorado. I got no problem with Colorado. I handicap each game separately, Sean. LSU. Now we're over to 4 p.m. here on the West Coast. We're going to Fayetteville, Arkansas, where Sean, one of Sean's favorite schools, especially their fight yell or whatever. Do they have a cheer? Do they have cheerleaders? How do they know when to yell in the stadium without cheerleaders? It must be mayhem without law and order in here. LSU coming off.
Bobby Petrino's got some cheerleaders
coming off. Right? You think he's got his own personal ones? LSU coming off a nice win at home. Now on the road, Arkansas plus 2.5, plus 110 on the money line. 55.5 is the total. Yeah, I mean, isn't this the exact time you don't take LSU? After?
This does feel like an ultimate letdown spot for LSU, coming off that overtime game. Pulled that game out of their ass.
They did, and them being in the top 10 is a fucking joke.
SEC.
Like they did not. They have not looked good. They should have lost to South Carolina.
But it's reflected in the line, right? Like Arkansas is only catching 2.5. I thought we would get.
It looks. I
thought we'd get a little bit more. I thought we get.
Colby, what side of this game do you like?
Oh, I love Arkansas here. This is a battle of the boot. I actually think they're just a better football team this year. I think you could play this anywhere. And to me.
Well, the reason I ask is this number is basically moved to 3. So
okay. But Bobby Petrino to me like LSU's defense has been bad this year, and Arkansas with Pittman and Petrino as the combination, I think they could have beaten A&M. So and Oklahoma State, they've been in every game and in a spot to win the game. I just think they're playing at a higher level than LSU right now. I was not impressed by LSU, despite taking them last week. Watching that game, they were down the majority of that game, if not all of that game, and the fact they were able to come out with a dub was remarkable. But I think you got to fade that now. Give me the Razorbacks here, man.
My college football note in the notes app is just hilarious because as I'm doing things on Saturday and seeing results, I just make these little notes. And LSU, it just says fade LSU.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought we were gonna get the full 3, but I still like it.
Like I said, it's pretty much 3 everywhere. I think Colby set us up here.
Sorry, well look, Taylon Green.
Arkansas
I think Taylon
3?
Green's gonna play too. That was a concern. He was banged up, but
we'll
he's
call it 3. We'll give ourselves the full 3.
I think we should give ourselves the full 3.
Right.
I didn't verify these numbers before. That's my mistake. I'll have to do better going forward. Kansas State, West Virginia. We're going back to Morgantown. Why are we talking about this game, Colby?
West Virginia sucks.
4:30 on the
pissed.
West Coast.
I'm pissed.
Kansas State.
That was a dog shit effort.
Yeah, I know.
Felt like getting in a car and driving through West Virginia, Pittsburgh, just blowing out my tires, just getting hammered. What was that? That was a dog shit effort, Colby. I know they're not the most talented team in the Big 12, but that was bad.
How about their coach's comments? Did you guys catch Neil Brown's comments?
No,
he was on the hot seat like a year and a half ago.
Well, he's
suddenly.
not doing himself any favors by saying, they asked him a question about like they haven't been able to win big games, and he basically says like, well, the fans get out. Did they enjoy themselves? They should be able to enjoy themselves because. Basically saying like it's a moral victory, like the fact we're even having games. Go out there and enjoy yourself.
Sirianni, fighting with the fans.
Which especially to do that in Morgantown is fucking insane.
He's gonna find his couch burning.
He questioned. He said, "Do you have fun tailgating?" Right? He's like that's part of the experience here. However, I do think K-State's phony. Watching them last week. They should have lost at Tulane. I think if Colorado has Travis Hunter, they lose. Yeah.
Because Kansas State on a back-to-back after Avery Johnson got banged up, missed some of the game there.
I mean, they barely beat Colorado. That's
DJ Giddens had an awesome game, but he also had 25 carries. Now you go on another road game. I want to fade both these teams. I don't think I can back West Virginia.
No, you got to take West Virginia.
No,
that was a good team last week in Iowa State.
No, that was a laydown. That was
I understand.
That was not losing to a better team. That was a laydown dog shit effort.
Did you bet on this game?
Yes.
Okay.
Moneyline Mac, clip this. Get some Baltimore material. There's no fight on that team right now. I'm taking K-State as the road favorite. It doesn't make sense. That's why it makes sense.
I think K-State's only won 1 of the last 5 in Morgantown, and that was when they had a really good team. They're not that good this year.
I think you're overrating what you saw last week. Take West Virginia.
No. Okay. No, thank you. Okay. No, thank you. No. You can bet on West Virginia. I'll watch you do it.
I'm gonna bet on West Virginia with your dick or whatever they say.
No,
Georgia.
No, thank you.
Georgia.
Leave my dick out of this.
Georgia, Texas, big game of the week. We're going to head into Austin. I'm sure the Minister of Culture will be there to welcome in UGA. Hopefully it's not too humid for UGA. I know those Bulldogs have joint problems. Texas laying 3.5 here. Well, we know what to do. -170 on the money line. Georgia +140. 56.5 is the total. I mean, Colby, I think and honestly, I think I'm rooting for it now. But Texas to win the SEC in its first year is all I want.
It's kind of
that's all I want.
It's kind of
Sarkisian. Are you kidding me? Sark takes a Texas team. I mean, obviously they're not going to win this game, right?
No, you hammered Georgia.
Texas.
Really? Say what you want about Sarkisian. Like he has been the luckiest coach. Like when you consider they played 7 backup quarterbacks a season ago, and the minute they played Penix, they never even had a lead in that game in the playoffs. And then
Georgia got their ass kicked by this Alabama team, and they fought back, and that was a moral victory.
Well, I would actually
Texas
disagree.
Has played think about this, Sean.
He knows how to play Sark though. Like that was the thing. It was DeBauer was new. Like that. As soon as he figured it out,
he barely beat Kentucky.
Texas's schedule so far. Texas's schedule so far. Colorado State ass, right? Michigan.
Give me more ass.
Offensively, ass. UTSA, ass this year.
Oh,
ULM is maybe their best opponent, but in general, Booty has since been relieved of his duties there. Mississippi State, they played the backup quarterback. Oklahoma is ass on offense. They have not played any good offenses though.
They beat them by volume.
What is the best offense? It's got to be ULM, and that's got to be in the 70s.
My only concern is
they beat them by 48.
Is the idea that Georgia wouldn't be able to keep pace in an offensive race.
Texas is awesome. They're rolling.
No.
Horns up. Horns up.
Give me these dogs.
Down.
Give me these dogs.
Horns down.
Ryan, do you take the 3.5 or you lay it?
You're supposed to lay it, but
Okay.
Georgia. But Georgia.
Case closed. You're still talking. The case.
Texas had a bottom 10 pass defense last year. I don't know that they fixed that. And if anything,
Quinn
they lost
Ewers
2
with those
defensive
awesome
tackles.
locks. It's going to be hot as shit in Texas.
I think we could see a statement from the Georgia defense.
I'm with you.
Kirby, they're 1-5 ATS.
Go dogs.
They almost lost to Kentucky.
Georgia don't get 3.5 points too often, Sean. They don't.
Yeah, well, they don't play this Texas team that often in the SEC.
If
it's a new look.
Horns
Horns up.
First time in the conference.
Who has Texas played? It doesn't matter who they played. They've butt fucked everyone they played.
Oh, for me, this is more about like Georgia being Georgia. Kirby Smart going against Sarkisian.
Texas is going to fuck it up in the playoffs. Is my prediction.
Oh,
they're not going to fuck it up here.
Or they fuck it up next week when they go to the pisser. They're going to get pissed on.
Yeah,
at the construction zone.
Now we're talking. Pew, 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 now we're talking. After they destroy Georgia, they'll win by 13 points. Book it. Clip guy Adi, get ready. Texas wins by 13, and then we get the juiciest of all money lines with Pavia as a home pissing dog. Get your leg up. Get the hydrant ready, Colby.
Can I be honest? It would actually make more sense if they just lose to Georgia and then lose to Vanderbilt in classic Texas fashion and start going away. Yeah. I mean, also you didn't even mention the letdown spot of coming off a huge win against their rival.
But they were, dude. They didn't even
huge win.
That was not.
You know how many
win.
envelopes got put in their pocket after that game?
That was not even a huge win.
Come on.
They were like taking starters out.
Colby, explain to them that's a huge win for Texas alone.
Oh yeah, that's a C-note game.
They're dropping. Yeah, bags were dropped after that one.
Speaking of dropping the bags, Rhythm sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm RITHMM. Get you hooked up with a bunch of. Well, first off, you get your college football, you get your NFL. You can build your own models. Super fun to go in and you just set the sliders. Like, hey, what matters to me? Defense, running the ball, whatever it is. You can customize your model, and Rhythm has you covered. Let's see. What's a fun game to talk about? All right. We talked about Boston College, Virginia Tech. My model has this much closer than the point spread. My model says Boston College only needs 4.5 points. Rhythm AI also agrees. They like Boston College +7. Speaking of 7-day free trial over on Rhythm sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. They do also they like Oklahoma State on the money line. So Colby was on that. You know, if Colby and AI working together, Colby does have a neural net processor. So look out.
A learning computer.
sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM presenting the Lock, Dog, and Tease.
Happy birthday.
Kramer?
Sean, did you mention the streak I'm on with these teasers?
Yes. You are on a teaser heater. You've hit 3 in a row.
Okay.
I started out 4 in a row and then I've lost the next 4 teases. Although I did hit Vandy money line, which again, that's how I'm staying alive here. Just catching some big money line dogs, some 2 touchdown hits in the NFL season.
So there are a lot of games on this card that are lock worthy in my mind.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. We'll start with Indiana -6.5.
Okay.
We'll take Georgia +3.5.
Oh, that's a bad one. Sorry, man.
And for our dog, we'll go Illinois. They wrong team's favored in that one.
Okay.
And for the teaser that everyone wants to know, Virginia Tech -1.
Oh no.
Yes.
No.
Don't tease Coach Fry.
BYU -3.5.
Oh no,
Yep.
Ryan.
Yes,
No,
yes,
no,
yes.
no.
You're gonna have a rough weekday slate.
And Notre Dame -6.
Okay, that's all right.
Oh, you like that one?
It's not bad.
Your feedback was very biased.
All right. Let's see. Take a look here at the old slate. Okay.
I just gave him a solid minute. He's not ready. Believe this, Colby?
No, I like to take my time here.
Colby, you want to go first so we can copy your pick?
Sure.
Colby, what do you got?
Lock up the Illini to get it done against
Oh.
Michigan. I will
Oh,
take
great
the
pick.
3.
Great
Also
pick.
lock up the Cards of Louisville +5.
Jeff Brown.
I
Be
said play it
careful.
on the money line
Prom
too,
alert,
but
prom
the
alert.
real money line is the mullet. All right, +250 in Provo at the Super Soaker.
No.
So grab that action. I think that's the juiciest dog we have, right? I feel like that's. Yeah.
I'll give you a juicier dog. Stay tuned.
Oh, whoa!
You can't possibly be doing.
Can
that.
I interest you in a little parlay?
Sure, but give us your teas first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my bad. Louisville +11, Colorado +10,
Oh wow.
West Virginia +9.
So many. No, the West Virginia one's dangerous.
Yeah, that's
dangerous.
Have you noticed they sucked?
Colorado's dangerous too.
Colorado plays a close game almost every game, dude.
Yeah,
under
It's
Deion
dangerous.
Sanders
I
era.
don't know. Questionable coaching sometimes with that.
I'm gonna lock up Colorado +4. This Arizona
Sean.
team. I don't think they don't deserve to be that big of a favorite. Other lock, Oklahoma State +9.5.
Oh no.
And get the big dogs out because we're going duck hunting.
No.
Give me Purdue on the money line.
Boiler up, boiler up, boiler up.
Mark
Isn't
my
it just a train?
They have the biggest drum. You know that?
if Purdue money line hits, I will do a video of me doing a Boilermaker. If the audience is interested in that.
Okay.
I
mean,
live from Circa, or are we
Yeah.
talking when we come back here?
Oh, whatever. Circa maybe a better and more
Before the
interesting
show,
environment.
actually, we'll be sweating this live on air probably, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to on VSiN do a live Boilermaker, but we'll see.
There's no rules.
Notre Dame -6, ASU +9.5 on the Tease there, and Illinois +9. How in the hell is Michigan going to win by more than 9? I don't see it. Colby, you were mentioning a parlay. I'll tell you one I'm going to get down on right now. Purdue, OK State money line. This is.
I mean, Jesus.
Get the ski mask on. Bank heist. I'm going to call it the bank heist.
I'll be like 50-1.
Kramer, I got one for us.
That's the most ridiculous thing.
Oh, no,
what are you doing to the audience?
What?
Putting their hard-earned money on Purdue money line.
Come on. Live, damn it.
I mean,
Also take it on the points.
all right. What are we doing, Colby?
You know, a little
I'm
sprinkle.
thinking this is we grab those dogs at the
Yeah.
kennel there, right?
Okay.
I'm thinking we then take those Louisville Cardinals against Miami because you know
Okay.
Miami's
Yep,
due
yep,
for a
yep.
lemon.
I like that.
And then what about? Do you want Arkansas or West Virginia here?
I would Arkansas by a mile.
Yeah, I think we do those three.
I mean, yeah, that's the 3
and we ride off into the sunset.
Should we invite Sean to join us?
Well, if he's
No, thank you.
No, okay.
he's too busy robbing the bank.
I would
over
also
there.
be interested if we wanted to add Illinois.
Let's yes,
Okay,
yes.
all
Let's
right.
add Illinois.
So
Let's,
So you
yeah.
have Georgia, Louisville, Arkansas, and Illinois.
It's gonna be fantastic.
They're all dogs.
all on the money line.
It's all gonna hit.
I think I might round robin that at the circuit.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just while we have the audience here, I'm just gonna.
Oh, you got some blackjack hands going on?
No, I want to.
okay.
I want to see what this pays money line. The Purdue, and I don't know where you're getting your numbers, but Circa has Purdue 1,600 on the money line, not your soft plus 1,500, and they
Nice.
also have Oklahoma State plus 305 on the money line.
Well, again, talk to Colby. He's the price dealer on this show.
Okay, $100 parlay. Purdue, Oklahoma State wins you $6,785. Ski mask on. You can't get 6,800 out of a liquor store these days. Maybe a bank, but you got to get the safe deposit key. That's a lot.
Yeah, but at least if you buy liquor, you have liquor when you're done.
And as Tomcat says, always bet responsibly. Yes, of course.
What do you mean?
And toss us a nice
Come on, Tomcat.
5-star rating.
I mean, I'd prefer a 1-star.
Oh yes.
Oh,
No.
whoa,
No.
This now
We need like 10 or 20 5-stars to balance out Colby's
Sean.
1-star. So support Colby, keep Colby on the show, give him a 5-star on our Apple Podcasts, Spotify especially.
If you're gonna do a 5-star, the only way to top a 1-star is you have to at least be comical. Make us chuckle.
How did
a
we
little
not
bit.
see this, Sean? We watch Forensic Files all the time.
The 1-stars?
This is a classic Benedictine right here.
Yeah, well, good 1-star.
Colby has sent us people to start.
A good 1-star will
issuing
light up.
1-star.
Will light up your life.
And they blame Colby so to get us off the scent that he's actually the one behind it. Very confusing.
The calls are coming from inside the house. All right, Colby, appreciate you coming on. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. They got weekday shows breaking down all of the weekday college
Had
football
New Mexico
action.
State money line.
Yes, cash it.
Had Kennesaw State plus points.
Cash it.
That
Had
helps people.
South Alabama and Fluff Bothwell tonight.
Cash it.
Boom! Get on over there.
And of course,
Say that name again.
as the juice reminds us, mountainprojects.org, hit the flood support button.
Yes.
Shout out to Weehawk. They've been really appreciating that support. So anything you can give is appreciated.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
And whatever you do, don't look up Scataboo on Urban Dictionary.
Kramer, let it ride.